Good morning, everybody. This is Tao of the Day. We're going to try and, read some Tao today. So, the Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 600 BCE, and I translate the title to The Canon of Reason. This is the collection of writings that will help you live a reasonable life. What does a reasonable life look like? Well, you're not a sucker, for one. You're not living under the influence of a whole bunch of other people, ideas, systems, and all of that. So if you feel like, nobody likes being a sucker, right? But if you feel like the education system is telling you how to be, if you feel like the economic system is telling you how to live your life, if you feel like your neighbors are trying to sort of like edge their way in, be like, oh, we have this, you have this. If you feel like you're living, like trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that, none of that is reasonable. None of that is reasonable. It's not reasonable to ask anybody to do anything that they're not doing. It's not reasonable to ask anybody to change. It's not even reasonable to ask your children to change. What's reasonable is to allow your children to be who they are, to allow your neighbors to be who they are, and not change your life because you feel like they're asking you to change. And that's at the core of everything that I talk about within my Recover Yourself work, and it's at the core of the Tao Te Ching. You know, when we don't ask other people to change, we are subsequently okay with what is. And when we can get to that point, when we can get to the point where it's like, we are okay with this. We're okay with the weather. We're okay with people doing what they're doing. We're okay with all of the things that are going on around us. That's when we're being reasonable. That's when we're being the most reasonable. Of course, we all get stuck in desire. We get stuck in wanting things to be different. We get stuck in all sorts of stuff, especially in this world today, because the economic system, which we're living under the influence of, dictates so much of the world. The education system is a part of that, and all of the things that are in the world today, these ideas of success, the ideas of failure, the ideas of all of that is influencing us in one way or another. And when we want to live a reasonable life, what we do is we drop all of those pretenses, all of those expectations, and we just accept things for what they are. And the Tao Te Ching has a I don't want to say they have a corner on the market, but the Tao Te Ching is a collection of 81 verses of doing just that, accepting things as they are, in the way that they are. And when we can do that, when we can accept the world as it is, well, then we're being the most reasonable. We're being reasonable in the most open and loving way. So if you want to live a little more reasonable of a life, definitely come up and pick a number between 1 and 81. And I would love to share the Tao with you. Your Tao for today. It's sometimes it's like picking a tarot card. It can give you a little insight as to what you're going through right now. And it's never wrong. So many times people come up and go, oh my God, that resonates so much with what's going on in my life right now. We don't have to talk about what's going on in your life right now. Of course, if you want to, I'm here. We can do that. I'm a coach and a leader in the recovery world, and I don't talk about recovering from things as much as I talk about recovering to them. So you are constantly recovering to who you are. That is a reasonable request. Of course, in order to do that, sometimes we got to recover from things that we're living under the influence of. But as long as we're recovering to, and as long as we understand that ultimately we want to recover to who we are, then we're living more reasonably. So it's Thursday, the 16th of June. If anybody wants to step up and pick a number between 1 and 81, I would happily take your number. If not, I will pick a number, and I'm going to go with 59. So 59 starts with the concept of governing, and I always want to remind everybody that when we talk about governing, even if we talk about governing a country, the country that you govern may be your family. The country that you govern may be your body. It may be your pet. It may be, you know, uh, any sort of thing, and sometimes when the Tao talks about governing or war or other stuff, it's important to bring that down to the individual body. Are you at war with something within yourself? Are you at war in a relationship? Are you at war, And so 59 starts with, for governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind, he has no destination in view and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him because he has let go. He can care for the people's welfare as a mother cares for her child. So, as I was talking earlier, this idea of being reasonable and not wanting other things to change, like that's a big part of this. Um, and when I see the line, the mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas, well, your idea is where it would start that you would want someone to change. Like you have an idea of what is good or what is bad or what is right or what is wrong or what is tolerable and what is not tolerable. And when somebody like moves outside of that, when somebody is doing something that is outside of those boundaries, well, then you start to not become moderate. You start to lean towards extreme. You start to get angry or sad or upset or frustrated or whatever it is, even if it's happy, even if it's not frustration but exaltation, right? Even if you're exalted, even if you're excited, if you're free from your own ideas, then you're not going to get excited. There's a verse in the Tao that talks about the idea that most people walk around like they're at a parade. You know, I'm I'm like an idiot. My mind is so empty, and that's an important aspect. I mean, of course, nobody likes being called an idiot, but when you can embrace the fact that you can be like an idiot, like childlike, not childish, is a differentiation here that I'd like to point out. It's not the same as being like an idiot or being like an idiot. Being like an idiot, it's like, no, you clear your mind. You don't have ideas. You don't have expectations. You don't have all of that. And the mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. He doesn't have to be held down by his ideas. He doesn't have to be in that space where his ideas are dictating the way the world is supposed to be. So that's moderation. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this line by line. If you have a number between 1 and 81 you'd like to select, please step up. Let me know. We'll talk about that verse of the Tao together, see what that has to offer you. And I can always come back to 59. So 59, for governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. Okay, so this is governing a country, and great, who cares? I'm not governing a country, right? Well, maybe you are. You're governing your body, and your body is definitely a collection of citizens, right? Like every cell in your body is working together, and you have different countries, like you have your heart and your liver and your lungs, and you definitely have different aspects of that. And then when you have cancer, other things like that, certain parts of your body are at war with one another, especially like if you like me have an autoimmune disease. I have MS. I have a diagnosis of MS. I prefer to talk about it that way. I have a diagnosis of MS, and if my MS flares up, it is my body attacking itself. So when I look at that, like for governing a country, governing a body, governing a family, governing a home, governing a business, whatever it is, governing your work, well, there's nothing better than moderation. Now, that's just a statement. That's a solid statement, ends in a period. There's nothing there that we need to examine other than what does it mean to govern a country? Because you're probably not going to go out and govern a country. What is a country? Could be your body, could be your family, could be anything that you're governing. Might just be that something happens and you happen to be on a bus. Well, maybe your your voice can help govern things that are happening on that bus. And so we want to make sure that there's moderation in everything that we do. So for governing, there's nothing better than moderation. We don't even have to talk about a country, but for governing well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier in depth, but now we can look at the mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. He does not have to be imprisoned by his own ideas. How many of you are currently imprisoned by some of your own ideas? Maybe your ideas of politics. So if your ideas of politics lean on one side or the other, right or left, or however you want to look at it, if your ideas are lean that way, how easy is it for you to get upset at the other side? If your ideas include a specific religion, how easy is it for you to, um, you know, get lost in defending a religion or anything, right? Like, how easy is it for you to get triggered because you are stuck to your own ideas? If you're married and your partner comes up and says, "Hey, I'd like to have a, a relationship with another person," how easy would it be for you to be stuck to your ideas and get scared and afraid of what that means? How, once you have your ideas, like, you want to be free from your own ideas. And that's what this is saying. In order to be moderate, you have to be free from your own ideas. And for governing well, there's nothing better than moderation. So the minute you have an idea, whether that is within your relationship, within your job, within your, day to day, if your idea is you need so much money in the bank, you need to have so much, like revenue, you need to have so many children, you need to have so many, relationships or whatever it is, the moment you have an idea of what something should be, then you are already um, not governing well because you're not being moderate. You're no longer able to be living in moderation. You're now stuck to your ideas. So freedom from your own ideas is the first thing that is the mark of a moderate man here. You know, mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. So what ideas do you hold on to that you are living under the influence of, that you are becoming a sucker from? It's wonderful when we can engage with other individuals in an open way, free from our own ideas. Our ideas often keep us held back from being able to understand other people, to be able to communicate with other people. So it's really important to be able to do that. And I wish you, and I hope that you understand what that means. And if you have your ideas, how can you let go of those more? And how can you become free of those? So now we go into a number of, in this verse, we move into a number of different ways of understanding what it means to be free of our ideas. He's tolerant like the sky. Tolerant like the sky just means, like, you can put anything in the sky, right? You can have clouds, you can have rain, you can have birds, you can have, like, things that get put in the sky, and at night it's filled with stars, in the day it's the sun and clear blue and all of these things. It's tolerant. It takes whatever you throw at it. You have a comet in the sky, it takes it. You have, you know, cosmic arcing between planets. Now this happened, millennia ago, but when that happens, like, the sky receives it. It's tolerant. Has no doesn't doesn't dictate what cannot be there. It just, well, if it's here now, I mean, we see planes and rockets and all this stuff just going up, and satellites and everything. Like, you throw anything in the sky, it says, okay, yeah, keep it coming, keep it coming. It's funny. I mean, we've thrown so much stuff in the sky that there is talk of the earth having rings now, rings of just space garbage that we've thrown into orbit. And it's all kind of, encircling the earth. And with what's his face, Elon Musk, and his satellite link and all that. I forget what it's called. Like we're actually the sky is taking so much that we might not be able to get rockets through. Like we're actually enclosing the Earth with this like thin mesh of satellites, and that's how tolerant the sky is. And like just accept it, just receive it, whatever it is, all pervading like sunlight. So the sunlight sees and accepts everything. It shined on Hitler just as much as it shined on, Mother Teresa, or you know, the Pope, or I mean, I don't know if any of these are good people, but it shines on the evil people, quote unquote evil people, by the quote unquote good people. I'm sure that I know for a fact that we all have both. So that's the thing, all pervading like sunlight. It'll touches everything, and that's the point. To it's not using its own ideas to say this is better than this and this deserves more sun than this. I will shine on everything equally. Firm like a mountain. When we talk firm, we're not firm to our own ideas, right? But we are firm. Sometimes there's just I'm firm to what is right now. Like and we got to understand also that the moderate man isn't alone out in the world. A moderate man is here with others. And so he has to understand who he is, even though he doesn't have connections to his own ideas. He's able to be firm to who he is. Supple like a tree in the wind, he has no destination in view and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. This is where we start getting into me personally. What is it you know, uh, supple like a tree in the wind, so we can bend and we can move, but we can be firm like a mountain, all pervading like sunlight and tolerant like the sky. He has no destination in view. He has no end goal. You are here right now. No end goal. No desire to be somewhere else. No place that you want to end. And that's a beautiful thing. As I'm working on a program and I'm trying to move myself and my business into a new place, I have to make sure that I don't have a specific destination in view, but that I am thinking about the feelings, thinking about the intention, thinking about the direction. And when I don't have a destination in view, then whatever comes my way can get me closer to where I'm going, because I'm not going to any specific destination. I'm just going. And by just going, I can use everything and say, hey, this can get me closer. This can move me forward. Rather than get me closer, this can move me forward. This incident right now, this Tao of the day can get me forward, which 13 people have come through this room. If anybody's still listening, I'm grateful for you. And I can use this moment to move me closer to, not closer, move me forward, because it's not closer to anything, because there is no destination in view. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm always going. Right? There's no place, but there is seeing is there is no destination. I can always just be present. Nothing is impossible for him, because he has let go. He can care for the people's welfare as a mother cares for her child. So we start with nothing is impossible for him. And we start this with the for governing a country well. You remember that? Like, we started this: for governing a country well, there's nothing better than moderation. Sorry, I wanted to take a sip of my breakfast. I don't drink for breakfast, but I have a little kombucha. For governing a country well, there's nothing better than moderation. Now we're moving, nothing is impossible for him. And we went through this middle section, which talked about freedom from his own ideas. So, in total, this is saying, for governing well, there's nothing better than moderation. Moderation looks like not having your own ideas, not having a destination. When you don't cling to your ideas and when you have no destination, then nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible for you when governing. So, whether you're governing your body or whether you're governing a town or a country, nothing is impossible. Why is nothing impossible for someone who is moderate? Why is something and moderate in the sense that this verse is talking about freedom from his own ideas and having no destination, having no desire? So, releasing yourself from desire, releasing yourself from your own ideas. Why are those the same? Because your ideas are what bring in desire. When you once you have an idea of what is good or what is bad or what is right or what is wrong, then you all of a sudden have a desire for a place to be, a place to go. You're looking at a destination, and yet there is no destination. You just move forward. You're always just moving forward. So, for governing well, there's nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas so that he doesn't have a destination in view. Nothing is impossible for him because he has let go. He has let go of his desires. He has let go of his own ideas. He has let go of being right or wrong. And because he has let go, he can care for the people's welfare as a mother cares for her child. See, and I don't know if when we talk about this, like we understand how does a mother care for her child? Now, this was written 600 BCE, so we think about this as like, what is different from motherhood then and motherhood today, and we might be able to kind of glean some information there. But he can care for the people's welfare, like a mother cares for her child. Well, he can do that because he's not stuck on what he wants. The master is not sitting here saying, I want the people to be this way. When we were talking earlier about the idea that freedom from your own ideas means freedom from your ideas of right and wrong, and freedom from your ideas of like politically, how should we move forward? How should we do this? And this is good, and this is morally right, and this is ethically correct, and all of these things. When we can be in a space where none of that matters, then you can care for the people. You can just see the people as people without having to see the people as right or wrong or for you or against you. You can use every situation to to allow you to move forward. And when you can clear your mind of all of your preconceived ideas of what that looks like, you can free yourself from the bonds that you have created in your life because of the ideas that you carry. When you can let go of that, then you can open yourself up to being moderate, to being tolerant like the sky, all pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, and supple like a tree in the wind. And let go of the destination you have in mind and make use of anything life brings. Everything that comes into your view you can use. Everything that comes into your awareness you can use. Now, use it. Don't sit there and ask like, well, let me Google that. Like, what can you do with this? What can you do with this? You are the creator, right? God is within each and every one of us. Tao is within each and every one of us. And so when we can be in that space, we can express ourselves in the way that like is truly creative, and that's who we are, and that's what we do. And when we do that, we're caring for other people's welfare. Like there is selfishness, but selfishness often comes from a place of having an idea that you want something, having an idea that you deserve something, having an idea that like, there's jealousy and all sorts of stuff that can spring forth. And when that happens, it's it's important to be able to look at. It's important to be able to understand where it's coming from and why, and how can you be a little bit more moderate. Where are you not being tolerant? Where are you shining on one type versus another? Where are you not being firm in yourself? And where are you not allowing yourself to bend? The Tao also has a verse that talks about, he who is the soft and flexible walk hand in hand with life, while the brittle and firm walk hand in hand with death. Where can you be supple? Where can you bend? Where can you allow people to be? I see so much political stuff these days, and it's always the other side is bad. Well, as the Tao says, what's the difference between right and wrong? What's the difference between good and bad? What's the difference between success and failure? Should I value what others value, avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous, right? Like that's what it means to, live a reasonable life. To not be swayed because somebody else has a different idea than you do. That's ridiculous. So what? Who are you? Who are you? Not what do you think? Who fucking cares what you think? Like you might. You might care so much about what you think. But that's not moderate. That's not that's not the mark of a moderate man. Like caring about what you think. You think Trump is right. You think Biden's right. You think Putin's right. You think Ukraine's right. You think whatever you think. Whatever you think is isn't relevant. Your thoughts aren't relevant in the world. None of our thoughts are relevant in the world, and yet we hold on to them so heavily today, making this world a less and less reasonable place to live. You have ideas that something is wrong in the world, and so you're going to go make it right. Someone else has ideas that what you're doing is wrong, and so they're going to go make it right. Someone else has ideas that what they're doing is wrong, and so they're going to go out and make it right. It's all ridiculous. Everybody trying to teach each other what's right. There's nothing to teach. There's nothing to learn. There are no other people. Be here. And yeah, be moderate. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Graciella's going to join me. It has been a minute. How are you doing?
Nothing to teach, nothing to do, nothing to go change, nothing to think. When I'm doing my moon meditations, I like to remind everyone, just breathe. You have nowhere else to go and
Okay.
nothing else to do. So just sit back and enjoy it. Anyway,
There is
that
nothing here.
well, I mean, Martin, bless your heart. Anybody listening to you for the first time would be kind of sad. But I get it. I get it. It sounds kind of bleak, everybody, but what he means is that there is only the Tao.
It is true. Yes, and it, when I talk to people about triggers, I always tell them even the things that make you extremely happy are triggers. And we have to be able to
That's
look
right.
at those to be able to, and just like 59 said, which I was reading for myself, was, it's about being moderate, freedom from your own ideas, freedom from the idea that like things are good and things are bad. And when you get to that place, yeah, you don't have super high highs, but you also have no super low lows. Like you're right there, and you're able to be present in what is.
Yes. Thank you for that. Great job.
Absolutely. I know you started a new book last night. Is
I
that right?
did. It's so good. Yes.
So I saw it pop up, but I was lying in bed, so I was like going to sleep. But
Mm.
how did what book is it?
It's called Fears, FEAR, to Fierce, FIERCE. by
Fierce,
Brita
fierce
Frina.
to fierce. Ah,
That's
yeah.
right. You see what she did there?
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Fierce
Wonderful.
and fierce. And so she coins the word fierce, FEIRCE, as in, the fire inside of you that burns, like right now, like you with this subject and this whole concept and your life, right?
No.
When you get a chance to really digest into that train of thought, it shows, it burns within you, right?
Hmm.
So she could argue that that is your fears, Martin John, along with other things. I know that you are a profound man of many passions. And so um, this is what she describes. And the subtitle is A Woman's Guide to Owning Her Power. But I know I want to make it very clear that it's for anyone. We are all a minority in any which way. I mean, you're a minority here because you're the only one reading Tao of the day. So that makes you a minority in a sense, right? And so it's for anybody who just feels like it's time to really realize what their purpose is and move on with it, get a hold of their life
Beautiful.
and just gain control and own their power. So,
Beautiful. And
mm.
I love that that you read here, and that you share so much of what your journey is, and how that. And I think that's
Oh,
beautiful, and I really appreciate your contribution and everything that you do.
oh, thank you so much. That means so much. Yeah, she's aware that we're doing it as well, which is very exciting because the previous author also knew and she joined us. And
Beautiful.
bless her heart, the first thing she asked is like, how come you're doing it over there and not on Instagram? And I'm like, well, let me tell you about wisdom.
Very
Let me
nice.
tell you about how I can get the readings and put them everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And how obviously it's a whole another community that's already been established there. But yeah, we're so grateful to be here in wisdom and to do what I can every day. I mean, with Elijah growing, let me tell you, every day is different. Oh my
I
gosh.
bet.
Like this morning, he woke up and he wanted a dinosaur, a specific one, and we couldn't find it. And it's like as soon as he wakes up, there's drama and screams and like, "Where's my dinosaur?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want to go back to sleep." So it's really intense. That's the word. He is intense, but so precious at the same time. Like, how can someone be like that? Like, uh, polars. From one moment to the next. I know it's a toddler thing. It's
Well,
okay.
not
We don't
only
need to
no,
get
I
into
don't. I
it.
really don't think it is. I think it's a people thing. I think we are polar, and like
We just learn to
as
control it.
right, and as he sees that you will respond to one, he will tend to and this is what living under the influence is. Like, you are influencing him, and that's all fine and good. This is his path, and he will learn how to be influenced to
Hmm.
act a certain way, and then eventually he'll have to revisit all of the things that he put away of himself, because maybe they weren't the right time for him to bring it out, or that he wasn't bringing it out in the right way, in a way that was productive, or in a way that was welcome. Then he'll have to explore that, and we all have to do that. We live under the
Right.
influence of our parents, and then as we explore and struggle and go through, and just like, this isn't me, this isn't me, this isn't me, boom,
Right.
as we turn 28, 29, 30, we just go, oh wait, this is me. Like, I
Hmm.
I I
I am
can have.
awesome. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I am awesome in my totality, not just
Right.
in my calm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you are
So
on a
that's
roll, my friend. Are you doing Tao of the Day today?
yeah, that's what we do. Do you got a number for me?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's do 77. That's the number in front of me right now in the temperature.
As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent down, the bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation and succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think
Mm.
she is better than anyone else.
Oh, that rhymes. So cute. Okay. That's so nice. Let me tell you, I've been pondering this concept of abundance. And I didn't grow up with concepts like the law of attraction or the law of abundance. These are all things that I'm learning as a coach and as someone who wants to guide people spiritually outside of Christian bounds, right? Because in my church nobody talks like that either, and in growing up nobody talked like that either. So it's all like a learning curve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a journey of almost 10 years, so I'm very happy and grateful. But what you're saying kind of goes back to something I posted this week, and that's really what I love about the Tao, and picking a number that you think is just so random, but is it really? Come
Yep.
on, it's not random. and
No,
so
no, no.
and so just I'm not sure if it was this Monday or maybe last week, but there's a post recently where I'm like, just do it for the peace that it brings you. Do it for the joy of doing it, even
Right.
if it's just getting to clean a room or whatnot, right? Like for example, I have to really like not plan. I don't plan how I'm going to clean my house, but I organize it like, okay, today we're going to tackle this room and today we're going to tackle this other room, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like getting to the core of I'm just doing it for love eliminates about a lot of the other plan. It's like I'm just going to do it. Doesn't
Right.
matter. So, yeah, do you want to break it up? I only have 6
Yeah.
minutes left, but I
Oh,
always listen
yeah.
after I'm gone.
No. Well, so and I think this relates a lot to what we were talking about your son's experience in life and all of our experiences in life. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent down, the bottom is bent up. Now, this is telling us what the Tao does. Okay, and it's just saying, hey, it's like this. It adjusts excess and deficiency, so there is perfect balance. It takes from where there is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Now, that is what the Tao does naturally. It is not necessarily what people do. And now we get into that. Those who try to
Yes,
control, who use force to protect their power, go
right.
against the direction of the Tao.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes. I
and
see
it's
that
really,
because with a
yeah.
toddler, sorry, I see that
No,
because
please.
with a toddler, the best course of action is to ignore his tantrum.
Hmm.
And not ignore it, but like when I was saying earlier, like, oh, I want to go back to bed, like he didn't hear any of that. That's all in my
Right.
head. Like that
Right.
that's all in my face. When I look at my husband,
Yeah.
he can hear it. He can
Of
hear
course.
it.
Yeah.
But it's all in my face. Over here, I'm saying this like it's okay, we're gonna find it. It's okay, we're looking. Let's
Hmm.
keep looking, right? And so there's anyway, please continue. I'm
Yeah.
ranting.
And no, that's an important thing in parenting, because it can be so easy to be like, here's here's something that is deficient. Like your son was deficient of a dinosaur, right? Like, and and
Right.
and there's this desire to have that within him, and that depending on his relationship to instant gratification and all that, like, what is, is there a direction towards, like, he needs to be instantly gratified now, and how does that, and not that he's wrong, he's a toddler, he is never wrong, right?
Oh yeah,
um
he's a toddler and he gets what he needs like instantly. That's right.
right. And so that, even though it's like getting what you want instantly isn't always the best, right? Because, like,
Well,
is
I
that
said what you
excess or
need.
deficiency?
Yes. No, yeah.
you
I said
know
what you need. Right, right, right.
yeah.
Yes. Like
Yeah,
there's
what you
there's other
need, you
boundaries
get what
there,
you
right?
need, right? And
Mhm.
depending on what it is. So they take, and the people in power, when they go against the direction of the Tao, take from those who don't have enough, and give to those who have far too much. And we look at the world today, and we see that as we have monopolies with Google and Amazon and
Hmm. Everything.
Meta and there's so many of these, like, they have far too much,
Even the
and yet,
apps competing
yeah,
against each other. It's a circus.
absolutely. And all of those things are keeping other those who don't have enough out, and
Right.
they're taking and taking and taking for themselves
Indeed.
so often. And that happens in our political system and in our financial system and in so many different places. The
Right.
master can keep giving because there's no end to her wealth.
Sorry about that.
She No, that's fine. She acts without expectation and
Hmm.
succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think she is better than anyone else. And I think that wraps this one up. And this is about the individual, right? This is about the individual out here in the world. We can keep giving. We can keep giving of ourselves because there's no end to her wealth. When I was reading 59, we were talking about what does it mean to be a moderate man and be a moderate person. And being a moderate
Right.
person means freedom from your own ideas.
Right.
And when you're free from your own ideas and you don't have a concept of what wealth has to look like, there is no end to your wealth.
Right.
And if
There's
you're
more where
not
that
here,
came from.
that's right. There's more where that came from. And that's coming from within you. Why? Because as it acts on the world, the Tao bends down and up, adjusting excess and deficiency. And so,
Mm,
and you are constantly going to be, it's always going to be adjusted. There will be times where you need to lay in bed.
right.
But when you get up from that, you will have more to give.
Yes. Oh, indeed. And for highly sensitive people, knowing when those limits are there, like recognizing them and respecting them is so huge because how can I explain it in a little bit of time? It's like we lead with the heart, right? As empaths, right? And so we will be the last person to acknowledge that we are burnt out.
Right.
Unfortunately, first everybody will feel our moodiness. First, everybody will feel how hangry we are. First, everybody will feel like how exhausted we are. And then we're going to look in the mirror and be like, "Oh, maybe I need a nap." And so to understand from the beginning those boundaries and to maneuver them, that's what allows for the flow, at least for me, right?
Right.
So yeah, thank you for that, Martin John. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Always good
Oh,
to connect. I'm
yes,
congratulations on starting the new book, and
thanks.
everybody should definitely follow you
Mm,
and keep track because you're doing
thanks
great
so
work.
much. Yes, have a great day. We'll be in touch.
We will.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye. We're gonna bring Dr. Rao up, and then Lois is in line. Dr. Rao, my friend. Hello.
Hi, Martin.
How are you? It's been a while. I hope you're doing really well. I'm sure
I
you're in bliss.
yeah, I am doing well. 3 points I will make here.
Love it.
That is very relevant to what we are talking about here. The bow and all that. Um, First of all, we realize that we are not just this body and mind, but the underlying um, substratum of conscious being. Right. That is the
Yep.
different names are given in different cultures, but that's basically what it is. So when we go to the deep sleep, we have that conscious being really keep going on, but the conscious is being there underneath all waking, dreaming, and sleeping states, right? So
Yeah.
that's a real one. Once you start, that's one point, realizing that we are that, but not just the body and mind, and then using the body and mind as instrument doing things for world and others, no selfish desires, no sense of gain or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So the second one. The third one is not to have an ego, where this consciousness is really bent with the ego. This gives the sense of agency. This gives
Mm.
the sense of I am doing it.
I am doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're not
yeah,
like it is being done through you.
yeah, through the nature, the
Yes.
the nature, and that's where they say it balances it out and does it. But the thing is, how many people are under the spell of this ego combined? But they called it Sanskrit jiva. When the
Jeez.
consciousness is identified through the ego, that's called jiva.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody you see, they may talk about the conscious being, but if you are in the being, what happens is the the mind and the body stop being according to the ego,
Yes. Okay. And
and
that's jiva.
then that jiva, once you understand that, and then you kind of really see the, okay, I am, my conscious being is now blended with the body and mind, and that's why I'm not having the relief from them,
Mm.
release from them rather. So
Yes. Okay.
most of the people don't understand the people who are in the being, because they are not coming through the mind or the ego.
They're not coming through the mind of the ego.
Yeah, they are
Okay.
not. But the being, the people who are in the being, in the Tao, in the
Yes.
Brahman,
Yes.
that doesn't do anything.
No.
That it stays there and then let you operate on the instruments of body and mind, not for your selfish desires, but the welfare of the world. And also, excellence is according to the work challenge that is done in nature. That means in equilibrium, in flow.
Mm-hmm.
Flow happens when the jiva is not there, when the sense of agency is not there, when sense of profits are not there. You see, the
Yeah.
Toyota and all these people, they do quality for the suppliers. The training programs are oriented towards so
Mm-hmm.
people compete for excellence on a daily basis above what they have already done.
Right.
Not that excellence is giving them ego or pride, because if it does, then the whole thing is gone,
It's all gone. Yeah.
right? Then
That's right.
so
That's right.
that's what happens in the other
And
place.
that's and that's like what I was talking about when Graciela came up. I mentioned, that idea of like even your pride, even your happiness is
Yeah,
is
yeah,
is is a trigger. It's a
yeah,
way to find more
yeah,
truth,
yeah.
because
But see, but
that is an illusion.
yeah, this structure where I think each person or each human being has to really find out whether they are coming from the being or from the ego or from the mind and ideas just for themselves.
Yeah.
That's where the meaningfulness of activity goes, and then it becomes profit oriented or ego boosting and all those problems.
Yeah. And then, that's when throughout your day you have ups and downs, you're
Ah,
upset, you're
yeah.
frustrated, you're happy, you're
Why
sad.
I'm in bliss? I don't have that fluctuation.
Right. There's no fluctuation. And that is, I love the line that the Tao says, other people are running around like they're at a parade or
Yeah,
they're at a circus. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, no, there's nothing here. There's
yeah,
nothing, like you are, and
yeah.
that's it.
More than other people, I would say human beings. The human
Yes.
being that really understood this, knowing and knowledge of this, not even knowledge, knowing and really understanding the Tao or the Brahman that they call, or anything else. Japanese call different ways, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, do you have this sense of identification not with the body and mind, but that underlying that substrate? Number one. Number two is, then what are you doing with the instruments of yours, which are body and mind? And are you catering to the good? Because that's where the meaningful activity and all that. Otherwise, people get bored and they get withdrawn and all that, right?
Hmm.
You start to do things, but not with the sense of agency, like I am doing this.
Right.
And then those that is gone, then you are really no fluctuation. You will be going according to what is presented, but you will do it with complete focus on the mind, and also the body is skillful towards the act of meaningful activity that is really helping others. Basically, that
Yeah.
is.
And when
Then
we
you are not absent with your desires, you are absent with your frustrations, you are absent with your gains and all that. Then
yeah,
are in flow, you are in bliss.
yeah. And I think that, like I see that so much, and when we can. Oh, what was I going to say? I lost it. That's okay.
Mm. That
It's
basically,
beautiful.
it's not a question of judgment, it's a
No,
question
no,
of,
no, no.
uh, you don't even say these people are not there, you know. Then who is that saying? That again, that jiva, that egoic conscious being that is saying, but not real liberated conscious being.
Yeah,
That
it's not.
doesn't
It,
judge, that doesn't say, oh, these are not there. But it's like, why enlightened people are so happy and blissful, whereas they are, so they say, it's pitiful that others who are not doing it, they have sympathy and pitifulness for them, but not in a sense of uppityness or egoic, superlativeness or anything like that.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this.
It's
I
Go on.
think I told you the other day, the nectar of immortality is passing behind you, and you turned opposite to that, and you're trying to quench your thirst with
Hmm.
sand, trying to dig a sand in that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of the life has become like that.
Yes.
Technology, all
It
this.
is. It is so
Yeah.
tantalizingly like instant as well, right? Like,
It's more than tantalizing. It's like a trying to find some meanings, trying to find some satisfaction, trying to find. There may be superficial pleasures, but they go away, right? And then they go back, and then they say, "Okay, let me take this one, that will help me to feel that." That's the digging we're talking about.
yeah, yeah. I posted something the other day about like in my terminology, it's like being a sucker. When you're a sucker to this idea that like this is gonna make you happy, or this is gonna
Yeah,
like no, like there's nothing
yeah,
out there. Like
yeah,
like if you can, like you need to be happy with you, like here and with and doing for others, and being here in service, and not even that has a definition,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like you are going that's going to spring forth from you.
yeah. That's it. The way where it is springing forth is the one I think mistaken. People may think, oh, these people are really taking a back seat. They are not doing things, and
No, no.
but actually, you are at a ebb that is really in flow. And but the thing is, you have to remember every time, I am not the one doing. I am being used as an agent. That things are getting done, but at the
Yeah,
same time focusing the mind and body to a degree aligned, so the work is done very well. That's why ancients have done tremendous work, because they have no sense of agency, they have no sense of profits or anything for them. They wouldn't even write their name under under a fantastic sculpture, the
yeah.
sculpture, and they left it.
I
They,
love that. Like as an artist, I know about that. And I know
yeah,
about like not making, like I know about, even like the Amish here in the
yeah,
States, like they don't make
exactly.
art, they everything is functional, and that is so beautiful. There's this gorgeousness to this idea of not having, it's not you.
You know, BK Iyengar is a yoga practitioner, Martin. You know,
Mhm.
when he said Amish, I remembered that. He said he kind of gave 10,000 yoga demonstrations. He was an extraordinary yoga practitioner, if you see him, in Europe, right? In 50s and all that. But then he said every asana, every posture, that he is doing is an offering to the God.
Yes. And I look at all of the things that I do as offerings. even
Exactly.
even even this, even like
Exactly.
now of the day, it's for me, it's like it's an offering, and then
Exactly.
my
Exactly.
work is an offering, and it's so beautiful to see
Yeah.
the work you do and see everything that gets done through me. It's just like, no, this isn't mine.
No,
This
you're
is
absent. You just let it happen. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the flow.
absolutely. Yep,
But
yep,
even if
yep.
you have any other movement commenting on that, is kind of you miss the flow and the bliss.
Yes,
But
yeah.
let it happen. The excellence will happen. The Toyota experience is something that people can understand how you can go with to the excellence of a product without really you being the egoic one that's saying, "Oh, I'm doing it." You can say, "I'm the agent through which my divine power is not my divine power. The divine power is doing it."
Yes.
I think a lot of people don't understand because, oh, I want to be this, but all they are doing is enhancing that egoic experience.
Mm.
They have to realize themselves. We have no business of pointing it out. We can only live the life that we are talking about
That's
and
right.
let that be. See, as a physician, my thing is not just to do for some money the service, but to help them lead a healthy life down the line. He comes with the diabetes. It's not just giving prescription. It is like finding out what are the reasons why he's becoming diabetic, why his things are getting. He's aggravating with a lack of diet and or the exercise or whatever. Then you correct them. Then he will be helped much more. Then
Yes.
he cannot come to your clinic that much. That's fine, but he's
Yeah.
better, right?
Yeah. And that's, like, I would always love to have a doctor on your team to have that mentality.
Oh yeah, that is missing because the system forces you to be in certain way, and you think that's it. Then the things come that the money, power, then the ego will be enhanced, and then they are stuck with that. But then they are burnt out because they are egoically doing it, but they are not touching the meaningfulness of that work or the underlying being that they are. They don't need anything for that.
Hmm.
And the same way with the as a yoga practitioner, I want to devise ways that they can do automatically while they are working. That
Yeah.
means damage is prevented, but at the same time enhanced.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember when you talked to me about my tooth and rinsing and rubbing my
Yeah,
gum, doing all
yeah,
that. All of that is now like part of my day.
yeah.
It's
that
beautiful.
yeah. Okay, Martin. I just want
Oh,
to
I
go.
love you, Dr. Rao. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming up.
Bye.
I'm going to bring up Lois. I'm going to take a number. My girl.
Hey Martin, how you doing?
I'm well, girl. How you doing?
I great man. I'm gonna say this. I'm fan fucking tastic. Okay,
Oh, good.
that's my
Talk to me.
word.
Go on. What's going
That's
on?
my word. Everything. I mean, I don't. Somebody asked me, Lois, I want to give you something. What do you need? And for the first time in my entire life, I'm gonna say in my entire 60, almost 61 years next month, okay, I've always had something that I needed. I couldn't think of a damn thing.
Like this has been beautiful for me recently as well. I don't know if you. I think you. I mean, you have to be familiar with. I've been starting a relationship with Andy Scarantino, who's
Mhm.
also here on, and it's been beautiful. And one day we were lying together, and she was just like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "I'll think about it, but I can't think of anything at the moment."
Yeah,
Like it was just so nice to be like, you know what, everything's perfect.
right. Everything
Everything
is,
just is. It's not, like,
yeah, it's not perfect.
sure,
No, it
sure, like,
wasn't
yeah.
perfect. It
Well,
wasn't
whatever perfect means, it was
perfect.
perfect. You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
like, I always say, don't like, and the reason that I come back on that is because I don't want people to think, oh, I got every, like, I don't have any like struggle. Of course there's struggle. Of course there's things in my life that'll work itself out. But like I'm okay with the journey.
Okay, and that's it. It's not. And then I thought about it. I sat there the whole conversation. We were still talking. I couldn't figure out what I needed, because in this moment, in this very moment, you know, I need nothing.
That's right.
I got everything I need right now in this moment. Now in about 10 minutes, I may come up with a need, and then I'll go fill it, and then I have no need again.
Right.
It's like, it's not like, oh, whatever. I still got bills. I still
No, of
got to
course.
figure out how more money gonna get into the accounts that I've been spending. I still got everything everybody else got, but it's not a worry and it's not a need, because I know that I am prosperity, because I am that that part of the divine, and that's who is me, and I recognize that I don't have to struggle and strive and worry and be so, my God, so to the point that you care so much till you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of thing, because I've been recently saying, well, oh, I can care less about that. They said, what do you mean? I care about it, I just care less. I don't care to the point where it's going to hurt me or
That's right.
make me
That's
feel
right.
my vibration off. So I had to sit there and say, wow, this is the first time. And then I had another miracle when I finally got all the IRS stuff taken care of, because
Hmm.
I rolled up on them. Okay. I went back door. I went right straight to them, and they let me in. Okay, and they didn't let the people in when I came back on the Monday, and the people walked up there like I did. They did not let them in, so I knew that that was a road out for me. And while I was doing my daughter's paperwork and my paperwork, because somebody stole my ID, and I had to prove my ID because she passed away on her. The lady was talking to me, and I was just talking, being myself, and she was asking me about my daughter's passing and whatever, and I talked about it. I talked about her being in the hospital. I talked about decorate. I talked about everything that was going on at the time, Martin. And then she says, "Okay, well, you come back on Monday, because you don't have because we can't make you copies." And the copy man was closed. Where I walked over to this, she sent me. I said, "Okay, I'll come back on Monday." And at 3:33, I had finished. I was signing her paperwork at 3:33. Remember, I told you that 333 was her
Hmm.
number.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I was getting ready to walk away, and I says, "Oh shit! Oh my God!" And I started dancing. She said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "Oh my God, this is a miracle. This is the first time since my daughter's passing that I talked about her and didn't feel some type of way. I
Yeah.
didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel mad. I didn't feel, oh my God, I lost. I didn't feel,
Cheated. Right.
no. That was a miracle, Martin, because
Yeah.
that means I graduated.
That's right.
That means that's healed.
Mm.
That's healed. I can't talk about the stuff I talk about if it ain't healed, because
That's
it
right.
hurts too bad to talk about it, and you be okay. But it
Yeah.
was healed. I figured, so I got three miracles: mine done, hers done, and was shown that I healed. So I
Mm.
graduated. So to
Yeah.
me,
That's
that was a trifecta. So my number,
yeah.
and I didn't know why I chose this number 9 until just now when I realized it was
Three,
333.
three, three.
Okay. So give me number 9. So that's why I'm fan fucking tastic. I've been just rolling in. I've been rolling in that since last Friday. It's like I'm healed. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's just, oh my gosh.
If you drink too much, you get drunk. The engine won't start if you're always tinkering with it. If you hoard wealth, you fall into the clutches. You fall into its clutches. If you crave success, you succumb to failure. Do what you have to do, then walk away. Anything else will drive you nuts.
That's amen. Because if that's not what I just talked about,
That's right.
that is an amen, and so
You know,
be it, and whatever else they say. Go ahead.
I look at this, I'm like, if you drink too much, you get drunk. And like getting drunk is having a strong feeling, right? It's
Yeah.
having a strong feeling and getting carried away by that feeling. And you it's not I don't want to, like I don't want to quantify something as being too much, but like when you experience the passing of your daughter,
Hmm.
like you were drunk on that feeling.
Yes, I was very drunk on that because I couldn't stand up straight. I couldn't gather my thoughts. I could not finish this. work that I'm doing now, her final paperwork. Okay, that makes me have no more physical things to do related to the passing.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I was drunk when I was under the I was no, I was under the influence of it, Martin,
Yeah, that's right.
and I'm no longer under the influence of it because I the spirit healed me through. Oh my God, it's so much. But then my sister said, I said, I didn't think I would be here tonight. Now she said, yes, you did. She said, what do you, I said, what are you talking? She said, from the first moment you gathered yourself, you said, Lisa, I prayed to God to ask me to grieve with grace.
Yes.
And she said, and you kept, every time you went through a hard part, you actually said it. And I
Yeah.
said, I really? And because you know me, Martin, when I do it, if I had this conversation with you, you might remind me of this conversation, and I might not remember this conversation because
That's right.
no, I'm serious because I'm in the moment. That's why my sister is urging me, Lois, carry a tape recorder. Lois, record what you say. Lois, record it. No, when you're walking, you're talking to me. Are you recording it right now?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like you know, I feel the same way. Remembering things is not important. Being here present is what's important, and being here and saying and trusting that what I say is
Mm-hmm.
what needs to be said, even
Mm-hmm.
if it, you know, like even if it's, you know, like gonna hurt somebody, or it's, you know, like not, if I'm not, you know, like I'm not going to say anything I'm not aligned with if I am present in this moment.
But I remember. But I remember. I may not remember all the conversations that I have because I have a lot of conversations since I've been on this app. But I do remember the energy of it. Every
Right.
conversation of every conversation, I do remember the energy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they were to say, "Hey, yeah, oh yeah, I remember," because I remember the energy. I don't may not remember the specifics because I'm in the moment. Because I'm in the
Right.
moment, you know. And sometimes in a moment, some of the stuff that flows through me uh it's not something that I studied or something that
Right.
I did. So that's why my sister is saying to capture the stuff. But I also know that the stuff is going to continue to flow as long as I still be who I am and stay in the moment and stay present in my interactions and recognizing that I'm being shown me all the time. You know, how my state of affairs are when it comes to having a disagreement with somebody or how I'm thinking about something. So, like I said, this is like the this is good. So let's finish breaking apart because I'm on
Yeah, you know,
time.
I like this next line. The engine won't start if you're always tinkering with it. You know, like if you, and I look at that in this way of like, you know, you can't get anywhere if you're always trying to, you know, like if you were just intellectually trying to deal with your daughter's passing, if you were
Hmm.
intellectually doing it, you were just like okay, so this is logical and I can move through this, and but you weren't allowing it to rest. You know, like when every time you just laid in bed, every time you cried, every time you allowed a little more out
Hmm.
and just allowed yourself to be there. You know,
Yes.
you weren't getting drunk. You weren't under its influence. You were just allowing the sadness to be.
Yes. Hmm.
Then you weren't tinkering with it. You were
No.
tinkering with it when you either invest in it so you can feel stronger feelings, or you invest or you intellectualize it so you can logically avoid your feelings. But that's
Or
not
and then
tinkering.
the other one, or I could have played it to get people's sympathy for attention. I
Right,
wasn't
right,
doing none of that shit. Okay, because I
right.
know it wouldn't been healthy for. I know me enough to know none of what you're saying. Intellectualizing it, ignoring it, using it for attention. It did not do it for me. I just did those are things I used that I was under influence, thinking I can change it or fix it or somebody else is going to change it or fix it. No, it just is. She
Yeah.
passed away. It just is. And you know, and I had to face that. And each time it came up, I like you said, I sat with that emotion. And then when you said the engine, um part of that set with me, as this is it part of it, and then you mentioned her again, is that The reason why she's no longer here is because while she had COVID, her heart was going like she was running a marathon the whole damn
Mm.
time. And you can't run something like that the whole damn time without it quitting,
Yeah.
because she got over all the COVID. She got over everything. She
Yeah.
had a heart attack because her heart had been overworked during the 3 months she had the effects of COVID. So
Mm.
that one, that like I said, this whole thing. And what's the next line?
If you well, I want to get to the line after the next line,
Okay.
but the next line is, if you hoard wealth, you fall into its clutches. If you crave success, you succumb to failure. And it's that line that I want to look at. If you crave success, you succumb to failure. And if you just wanted to get over it,
Hmm.
then you would be constantly measuring how over it you were. And and when you stopped measuring, you would realize that you're not over it. But
Right.
because you were just allowing yourself to be in the space of not tinkering with the engine and just letting the engine be, then you didn't crave success. You knew where you wanted to go, but your success was in the grieving process. You
Yeah.
wanted to do it with grace. You didn't want to avoid it,
Nope.
and you didn't want to contribute to it. You
Nope.
just wanted it to happen. And so you didn't crave success. You just wanted to have the process.
I
And so
just
you
wanted,
didn't
I wanted to get to
succumb to
this place of
failure.
peace, the place
Yeah.
of, okay, and that's all. Because I was at a place of peace before everything. I wanted to get back to that, and I remember I always say this: it's either this or something better. So when I did say that in the beginning, I said, "Boy, must gonna be figuring ready to fly high now." You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? From where I was,
Yeah.
and by God. Am I flying high? That's why I don't allow nothing to interfere. There's no justifiable resentments. There is no justifiable incidents. There is nothing that can justify me going back to that state of mind where I want to blame people for how I feel.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's where this ends up. Do what you have to do, then walk away.
Amen.
Anything else will drive you nuts.
That's right. That's right. And that's all of that is it is real, because if I put too much on anything. Wait, I'm gonna just say you can have a little bit of everything, but not everything of everything. Okay,
Yeah.
if you any too much of anything is bad. You
You
know,
can't have everything of anything.
yeah, you can't have everything of anything. Just you can have a little bit of everything. You know, it's like take what you need, like the manna for the day in the Bible. Take what you need for today.
That's right.
Okay, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Yesterday's is going to be rotten by today, and tomorrow's is going to take care of itself.
Tomorrow's isn't even ripe yet. And as
Tomorrow
the
ain't even
Tao
right.
says,
So,
like the Tao
yeah,
the Tao talks about that idea, like when you rush ahead, you ruin what was almost ripe.
there it is. There it is. The door was almost open until you walked to try. You tried to shake it.
Why don't you come back up and then we'll wrap this up and then I'll call this Tao of the day done after this.
Yes, so that's very fitting. Very
Very
fitting.
fitting. Well, I'm really grateful to hear that story. I'm really grateful for you. Thank you again for the book, and I love you.
I love you too, Martin. I hope it. This is Lois had a vision when she saw the book. I saw you reading the book and learning the calligraphy, and then when you're drawing the person, you're incorporating their name in calligraphy into the picture, or whatever they said their experience was in calligraphy onto the picture to make it even more special.
Wow. Well, I just started looking at it, so well I'll keep you abreast.
Okay, all right. Well, I just figured you, since you do the
Yeah,
that's
no,
how Lois
it's
vision
all right
stuff.
up my alley, and I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you how much I appreciate you, because to
Oh,
me, it ain't like I got a whole lot of money. It's just that
no.
I don't worry about it.
I
Okay.
don't worry about it. That's
Okay.
beautiful.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, because I'm human too, just like everybody else. But thank you so much. I love you, Martin,
Love
and
you.
keep doing what you're doing. Nobody does it like you. And I say that and all because I've heard other people do the Tao and whatever, but nobody does it like you. So, you know,
Oh, well, I
and
love you. Thank you so much.
all right, and I'll talk to you later. I'm sorry I missed you most of the week, but Spirit been telling me to I need to rest because I'm being upgraded. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, boy, okay. You know, so let me rest my ass because I didn't go out dancing last weekend at all.
What?
At all. I had a family fun night, game night, and
Oh, game
tacos.
nights are great. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, and then my next daughter came over for the next day for more. So it was really, really fun, you know, because like, I guess they realized, wait, Mama's not going dancing. She's gonna have a game night for us. Wait, you know, because you
Yeah.
know, for me to put that down is that's different. But that's what I was led to do. I was led to not go and to rest and basically to rest. Now this weekend, no, I'm being told go do what you got to do. But last weekend it was rest, and
Yeah.
I'm learning that if I rest, is it like we say restoration? I say rest, either you rest or you're gonna be given rations.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that's that word restoration or ration. Okay, you know you
Yeah.
don't say it like that, but that's what I was given throughout this week. And if you don't get rest, you may get cued for your rest because you'll get
You may,
sick.
yeah, your body will force you to rest.
Yeah, your body will force you to rest, and if you don't take those rest pits during the day, you'll start out good, but then the rest of the day will be in the pits. So you got to take them time, 10, 15 minutes a day, close your eyes, refocus, recenter, get yourself together, especially if you're going through some ho'oponopono that crap, and
Mm-hmm.
got to keep it moving. So you got to get your rest pits before you get rescued, and and you got to rest so that you won't be given rations. That's Lois. I told my sister write a
That's
book, right? Because she's been
right.
writing everything I'm saying, most of the stuff I'm saying, because it just comes to me when I'm in this flow state. And that's why I said I can't let nothing interfere with being in the flow state because it's just I don't worry about anything. It just flows. Everything just flows. Doors open and all that kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
love you, and I will talk to you later. I will try to catch you a little bit more because I'll catch you all the time. Because Lord, 4:30, I'm up. Okay,
Yeah,
five
I know it.
five
I know
o'clock, 5:30, I'm finished all the stuff, ready to walk the dog. You know, but that's what I'm getting ready to do now. But because I've been going out at 6 to walk the dog, so I've been, and I don't get reception. Get good reception where I'm walking, so I don't hear can't hear anybody doing anything. So I just don't even try. You know,
yeah.
I stay
Yeah,
where I
no,
stay in my walk. You know,
yeah, just stay present.
yeah, yeah, and it works for me too. So anyway, because I end up on conversations that I need to be in on at the time they people need me there, and it's like I'm like, whoa, this is fun, dude.
That's right. It is. It's so
Okay.
fun. All
But
right,
you take
love.
care, and whenever I see something that I think is fit you, like I said, you're my brother. That's what I
That's
do. You're
right.
my
That's
brother.
right.
Hey, I saw this hat and it reminded me of you. Here, here's your hat. You know, I mean, that's me. That's how I operate. Y'all, you know. But anyway, I love you, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, sweetie. You have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay. Well, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a day here on Tao of the Day. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you guys benefit from what you hear here, you want to send me a little tip, you can do so through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia. Martin John spelled the way you see it here on Wisdom. One word, Martin John_Garcia. And I am moving my workshop to a digital product, so you'll be able to purchase that shortly. I'll be having that out in July. And there's also a subscription. There's a call that you can get on with me if you guys are interested in having a one-on-one call with me, whether just about how you can live a more reasonable life. Reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, or you can just put time on my schedule by going to my website, martinjohn.com. Thank you so much for listening to Tao of the Day. It is my offering to you. Hopefully you benefit from all that you hear here. Thank you, Dr. Rao, for all of your insight, Lois for number 9, Graciela for 77, and if you were on early, my 59. I hope you guys benefited from all that I'm offering. Thank you so much. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.